What's up, guys? Well, today I've started realizing that I haven't been making any vacuum videos lately. I do a lot of lawn mowing videos because for the time being I've pretty much ran out of vacuum content because I'm trying to save up money for more important things in life, house payments, car payments, a bunch of other stuff like that, paying my college tuition. Basically, I'm trying to organizing my needs and wants. And vacuum collecting is definitely a want. But there is a little bit part of me that likes to get back to my roots in filming vacuum cleaners. And today I figured I'd go ahead and do it on this Hoover Windtunnel 3 high performance pet. This vacuum is not mine. It's actually used up at my family's river house that actually replaced a Windtunnel anniversary self-propelled upright, and I do have a video on that vacuum. I will link that video in the description box. So if any of you want to see that, you can go ahead and do that. This vacuum did or is probably one of the higher end of the Windtunnel 3s. I'm not really a fan of the design. It's mostly in the manufacturing because this is the day and age when Hoover is making their vacuums from China. And I'm not necessarily they're terrible, but they're not really the best in my opinion. But aside from that, you can hear me ramble on about why Chinese vacuums are not really manufactured great, but that's not going to be the point of this video. But let's go ahead and get started. This was actually, I want to say, purchased from a local Walmart in the area. I think they also sold these at Best Buy as well. So let's go ahead and show you the dustbin because it's obviously a bagless machine. Because that seems to be what a lot of people like to go for these days. And it is a multi-cyclonic system, I will admit. The cyclonic system, being multi-cyclonic and all, I want to say is pretty Dyson-esque. At least the design was kind of a Dyson inspiration. As you can see right here, it's got its permanent, one of the many filters. This is a permanent thing. I have not been able to get this out. But anyway, that is washable and reusable. As you can see, a nice big large bin right here. You got this button release for the trap door on the bottom. Right here is its HEPA filter. Pretty nice and clean. It hadn't collected that much dust yet. And this is high up in feature-wise to be able to come with a headlight. That's something you don't normally see on too many Chinese-made vacuums. And this vacuum is actually manufactured by TTI, the same Chinese manufacturer that makes vacuums like Dirt Devils, Eurekas, even Oryx, believe it or not. So anyway, right here it's got Hoover's legendary Windtunnel technology. Basically, that's nothing more than different suction channels inside the vacuum head to channel the airflow, which surprisingly enough, this thing has pretty fantastic airflow. Part of that being is because of this little suction diverter, which seems to be a Eureka inspiration because they were the first ones that came out with this. And basically what this does is you switch it to hose, all the suction that goes straight from the vacuum head will all go through this hose up top here. And when you switch it back to your floors, all of it will go straight to the vacuum head, which definitely helps out with with airflow. A lot of people think to have a good performing vacuum, you have to have good suction, and that is not entirely true. According to vacuum experts, suction is the third most important thing to a good performing vacuum. The other ones are agitation and airflow. And part of the agitation has to do with a good made brush roll, and I'll go ahead and show this right now. As part of the pet edition, you get this specially designed oblique brush roll. Basically what oblique is that the bristles are separated apart around the whole circumference of the brush roll. And one unique thing, you do have black bristles on one side and white bristles on the other. Pretty interesting. And this is the first time I've seen an oblique style brush roll on a cheap Hoover like this, because normally I've seen oblique brush rolls on Kirby's, and these aren't the stiffest bristles in the world, but the brush roll does agitate pretty decently. Much better than I guess the lower end Windtunnel 3s would. They call this the quick pass brush roll. Right over here is the brush roll shut off. Basically switch that and your brush roll won't spin, so you can clean bare floors. And this is worked on a clutch system. It is belt driven, just like any vacuum. Most vacuums are. So basically when you recline the vacuum back, that button will protrude out, and that's the belt grabbing onto the motor shaft pulley, and it turns the brush roll. Basically press in, there's a little lever mechanism that pulls tension away from the motor shaft, and so your brush roll won't spin. As you can see, when you put it in its upright position, that will go down and the brush roll will stop spinning when the vacuum is in its upright position. Also, you will notice right down here is your mechanical performance indicator, or system check indicator is what they like to call this. As you can see, if red, rinse filter, empty dirt cup, check for clogs. Which is kind of hard to read because of all the chrome that they use there. See right down here, you do have 7 carpet height adjustments. This vacuum cleaner nozzle doesn't stand up off the floor when it's in its upright positions like older vacuums were. You see the carpet height's very easy to move when that dials. So anyway, let me go ahead and show you all of the attachments. Right here is your extendable wand. So basically how to do this is you twist it to the left and you're able to extend your nice large wand. Twist it back to lock it in place. It doesn't really lock that well. I wish they kind of made this better with kind of notches in the system. That way it would lock more easier. And right up here is your nice, oddly designed crevice tool, but it is quite effective. Right up here is your combination dusting brush and upholstery tool. These brushes can be removed by just pulling these 2 tabs. And now you got an interesting upholstery tool. And this neck is bendable, so you can bend it in a lot of different positions. And set that back. And let's go ahead and show you the hose. It's actually held in place by a little latch right here. And I'll go ahead and show you how long the hose is in length. I'm actually touching the other side of the room. It's probably a little bit longer than what I'm demonstrating. this part of the hose does rotate, so you don't get any kinks in the hose. So anyway, let's go ahead and put this back on. Make sure everything's straight. And finally, here is the special Pet Edition Turbo Brush, which is suction driven, as you can see by these little turbines inside here. That's actually driven off suction. And it does have rubber beater bars, which they've used this style turbo brush since the T-Series. But what I don't understand is the Pet Editions, at least the ones I've seen on the T-Series, have little strips of brushes on the front. And I think that's supposed to grab onto pet hair, while the beater bars help beat the couch crevices and take the fur away into the vacuum. I don't know why these are non-existent. I'm pretty sure there's a reason, but I haven't seemed to figure out why. It could be that they were cheap in manufacturing. Now let's go ahead and release the cord, which this is a fairly long cord, I will add that. I want to say it might be in the 30-foot range. It could be about 32, 34 feet, but I'm not entirely sure. It's nice and long. I'm going to plug it in. And before I go ahead and run this, we'll go ahead and show you the model number real quick. My camera will focus. Hold on, let me actually put it down into the light here. Hoover model UH72630, 120 volts, 60 hertz. This does have a 12 amp motor, which actually surprised me because most cheap Chinese made vacuums only have a 10 amp. Some cheaper, I've seen it with just 8 amps, so they're not very strong. So it even says on front proudly that it's a 12 amp vacuum. And now that you've heard me talk enough about the features on this, let's go ahead and turn this thing on and demo it for you guys. Power switch is up top here, and it's nice ergonomic fingertip. Position, the brush will shut off. Recline it back and it'll turn back on. Suction is nice and strong to lift the pile of the carpet. Let's press it again. And you can safely clean out your bare floors. The person's trying to adjust the carpet right now. See, it's practically sucked itself down to the floor. Incandescent bulb, which I think might be slowly going out. And before we go ahead and end the video, let's go ahead and show you the tools and switch the suction diverter for your tools. This does have very strong suction. Really impressive. Now let's go and get the tools out. Here's a little extension line. Do that. And turn it to the side and you can extend. Crevice tool, excuse me. That's kind of another way that you see the cheapness of this, because that extension one doesn't really lock in place that well. Go ahead and show you the combination upholstery dusting brush. The bristles are nice and soft. If you remove this, it just becomes a normal upholstery tool. Finally, we'll go ahead and show you the pet hair turbo brush. Surprisingly, it has pretty good application for a turbo brush. Maybe it's these actual rubber beater bars. Switch it back to floor. Lock this back in place. And now we're going to shut it off. I do like that they put a lot of fine detail into this vacuum. And if it wasn't made in China, I would have been all over it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little video of the Hoover Windtunnel 3 High Performance Pet. Please stay tuned and don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.